I know you asked us to be brief in our answer, and we're, we're failing miserably at that, but I would like to go back to the security component because some of the things you said, Yola, rang true with me. So let's assume that we need more in terms of a police force. Well, that sounds expensive and it means hiring. But at the same time, if you look at how our school budgets have been managed, we've stayed under the cap of 2% for as long as I was there when that became a mandate. And in fact, there were at least one, if not two times that we gave money back to the taxpayers, despite planning, despite saving money along the way. And how do we do that? It's by carefully looking at the budget line item by line item to be able to see how can we more efficiently deliver the same or better services at a lesser price than we were. Healthcare was one of the prime examples where we were very careful in managing transitions from one insurer to another so that we were not facing 15-20% escalating costs per year in terms of healthcare. I don't know about all of you, but when I look at my healthcare premiums as a consumer, they go up by a lot every year. And we were able to stay within that 2% cap annually by carefully managing things. One of the areas of safety that I think are really, really important are EMS and fire. And we've had conversations both with our volunteer colleagues at EMS as well as at fire. And really, they feel under supported and underappreciated. And these are volunteers. So let's take EMS, for example. And for the most part, they're providing services for our community on nights and on weekends. And outside of that time, we're relying on professional paid EMS service from Atlantic Health Systems. There was an example very recently that I was told about at Mount Horeb School. You may have heard about the helicopter that maybe came, maybe didn't come, and they didn't need them in the end. But the response time was disturbingly long for this patient from the paid EMS service coming because they've got responsibility within their own catchment area. And to come to Warren at the border of their area of responsibility required extra time. And if this was your child there, I would be concerned about that. And so there are multiple ways to manage that in both supporting our EMS volunteers as well as providing them with other alternative infrastructure that could fill in when the Atlantic Health System, for example, is unable to. So the central region of New Jersey is supported by another EMS system that does cover up to the Warren area. And I've had conversations with them and their willingness to provide some service at a minimum, providing continuing medical education for free for our volunteers. So that's not an added expense beyond their time. Just creative ways to make them feel like they are valued and that the town really cares about their presence. From a fire perspective, and I think Yola as well, were fairly disturbed about things that we heard in terms of their ability to manage fires given the type of building construction that is going on. When you start getting into multi-story buildings and the type of construction that's used, we still have a volunteer force that has to be called in, may or may not be available. And do we have the equipment and resources to be able to handle that? And we've been given ideas from their experience and knowing how other fire departments and surrounding communities manage the volunteer situation as to ways to provide them with the necessary resources to keep a continued volunteer fire department rather than having a paid fire department, which obviously would be substantially more expensive. And so, yes, will it take a little bit of investment to do so? But these are willing, able, and eager volunteers that we just have to treat well to encourage them to continue to the work that they're doing.